salam and the Holy Prophet above all. But sometimes major details about the lives of the Ahlul Bayt, people don't know them. But almost everyone has heard the name Rumi. Even though Rumi was without a doubt, without question, a deviant of the worst type. He is someone who accuses Abu Talib of dying as a mushrik. That alone should disqualify his name from ever getting anywhere near a minbar. Because the belief of Abu Talib, and we spoke a little bit about him a couple of nights ago, the fact that Abu Talib was one of the greatest believers, was a defender of Islam and the Holy Prophet. This is a matter of consensus among the Shia. Every Shia scholar, since the greater occultation to this day, believes that Abu Talib, and with plenty of evidence, Abu Talib was a believer. And so when someone like Rumi comes along and says that he died as a disbeliever, shouldn't that be enough to recognize the fraudster that he was? The imposter that he was? What kind of wisdom can a person like this give me? Having accused Abu Talib of dying as a mushrik. What? Rumi even goes as far as to defend the Shaitan. He says that when Shaitan refused to prostrate before Adam as instructed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he did so not out of disbelief. Rather, he was jealous. Like when a child loves their father, if that father takes another child into their embrace and shows them love and compassion and so forth, this child will become jealous. Because they love the father so much, they now exhibit traits of jealousy. Shaitan loved God too much, and that's why he became jealous. And yet, look at what the Quran says about Shaitan. فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded the angels to prostrate before Adam. فَسَجَدُوا, they all prostrated. إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ, with the exception of Shaitan. أَبَى وَاسْتَكْبَرَ. He refused, he was arrogant. وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. He was a kafir. And Rumi says, he was just jealous. He loved God too much. Rumi is the same person who says that Ibn Muljim will go to heaven. The killer of Amir al-Mu'mineen. He says the Imam told him that I will give you my intercession. I'll intercede for you on the day of judgment. I mean, brothers and sisters, how much evidence do we require before we recognize this impostor and people like him? And yet, his name is still mentioned on the pulpit of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And so, another instance of Rumi's deviation. You're all familiar with the hadith where Rasulullah said that my nation will be split into 73 sects. They will all perish except for one. It's a hadith mentioned in both Shia and Sunni sources. You're also familiar with the hadith where Rasulullah said, now, if the Holy Prophet is telling us that most of the denominations, most of the sects will deviate, surely he's going to give us some indication as to which sect survives. And he's done so repeatedly. In one of those hadith, the Holy Prophet said, إِنَّمَا مَثَلُ أَهْلِ بَيْتِي كَسَفِينَةِ نُوحٍ مَنْ رَكِبَهَا نَجَى وَمَنْ تَخَلَّفَ عَنْهَا غَرَقَ وَهَوَى. My family, the example of my family is that of the ark of Nuh. Whoever boards it will survive. Whoever fails to board it will perish and drown. Rumi takes this hadith and twists it. He says, yet Rasulullah said to the people that you will all deviate except for one group. How do you survive? He then said, I am the ship, and so are my companions. Instead of the holy household of Rasulullah, he introduces the companions as the ark of salvation. I mean, at some point, as followers of the Ahlul Bayt, we should draw a line in the sand and say, We're not going to take from a person who has all of these beliefs, and this is just a few samples that I mentioned to you. I remember once I spoke about Rumi's proclivities, or to be more specific, his sexual orientation, which was deviant. And he openly talks about it. He had a special relationship with a person named Tabrezi, and he speaks about it in rather blunt terms. I spoke about this, I mentioned some of his deviant beliefs. I got off the pulpit, there was a whole queue of people saying to me, is that true? How could that be possible? Rumi, we've heard about him for so many years. This other philosopher quotes him, this poet quotes him. And I thought to myself, subhanallah, I am providing all of this evidence. People rightly come to me and challenge me on the statements that I've made, and I welcome that. But how is it that when someone quotes Rumi on the pulpit, no one challenges them? How is it that when someone dares to praise people who exhibited hatred towards the Ahlul Bayt, like Ibn Arabi and others, their names are mentioned on the pulpit, no one challenges them? It's a sad, sad state of affairs that we're in.